Chat, we have Mawkzy versus GiuK. So I've been told a few different options, but it is a French 1v1er who I have seen showing up. Actually, not, I shouldn't even say 1v1er. A French player in the Rocket League world who has been showing up not just in 1v1 tournaments, but also on some tryout rosters, I believe, for various 3v3 teams. And he has made his way into the Arm the Rebels $1,000 Cup. We have done, I think, 2 of these now. This is the 3rd iteration of it. Mawkzy has yet to lose in the first round. He's played in all of them, but who knows? Maybe Mr. GiuK could be the difference that changes everything. It's always exciting to watch a new French rookie because of Zen, basically. And because of Zen and because of everybody else who has come out of France and has taken over the Rocket League world. It feels like there are tons of gems hidden there. We're going to see if maybe we're getting our first experience watching one here in this matchup against Mawkzy. Mawkzy, though, is just about the toughest guy to try and get an upset on. Even more so maybe than a Nas, although Nas is actually pretty tough too. But there's lots of other high-level ones players who are exceptionally good at, you know, winning against the best, but will actually falter here and there against some of the up-and-coming ones grinders because they don't really have as much practice against the kind of ones game they play. Maybe Drowley's like a good example who, you know, could struggle. Mawkzy's a guy who basically never does. If there's one thing he practices, it's practicing against players, you know, from the 50 to 100 range in the top 100, which is where I think I would put GiuK right now. And he shouldn't have much issue. That being said, he's down 1-0, and he's about to be not down 2-0. Nice respawn and double jump to prevent the early deficit, the early double-digit deficit. But Mawkzy has actually kind of done this in the past in previous Arm the Rebels, taken a little bit to get going. We saw him last week in his first round on our stream against Dr. Known. Dr. Known ended up getting a single game, and I think he was actually the only person in the first round from the lower seeded players to get a single game, which would go against what I was saying before about Mawkzy being good at handling, you know, the lower seeds. But at the end of the day, Mawkzy did still come out on top, and he had a couple really dominant wins in that matchup against Dr. Known. But just about over halfway through game number 1, and Mawkzy is still searching for his first real opportunity. I mean, he hasn't even really had a chance on offense. GiuK's done a great job of staying all over the ball, and I like that he stayed aggressive here. Did not allow Mawkzy to get a setup, and then a very safe play in this corner. Staying grounded, chipping it in case Mawkzy makes a mistake, but making sure that the recoveries were there to continue to keep Mawkzy scoreless if it didn't work out. Wow, 3-0. Dropping a sorry. Wait a second. Oh, okay, misclick. I was like, are we about to get spicy? Because Mawkzy is down to get spicy. Mawkzy has no trouble getting spicy. And if you want to be the one to start it, he'll join right in. He said toxic. I think he's joking with that, basically. Because pretty clearly, GiuK wanted to back off his accidental sorry, which really doesn't make a ton of sense anyways. Mawkzy does not want to cut this ball across his net, just wants to start taking it straight towards the target. Double jump bump, and this is really the first time Mawkzy's had a look on net. I wonder how many shots he's registered. Apparently he's registered more shots. Apparently he's had 5, but I felt like there was never really an amazing scoring chance that got declined. This one did feel promising, and it pays off. Now can Mawkzy punish on some kickoffs to put himself right back into it? Forcing GiuK into a tough save now to the ceiling. Mawkzy maybe needed to hold power side just a little bit more. He got thrown off by his wheels touching the ceiling, and even though he got his reset, it's not worth anything if he puts himself off the path of the ball. Mawkzy gonna back off. Give space, the kind of space that is a death sentence if people give it to him, but he seems to feel safe trying to defend on the goal line. Great patience from GiuK, and now it's a 4-1 lead. And he is insisting that I learn how to say his name correctly because he is on his track to a win that would advance him to the next round. I think we have the next round matchup of these guys on this channel as well. Flick to the backboard. Again, pressuring Mawkzy, not allowing him to get control of a dribble. I don't know if he's going to be able to turn and challenge this one. Mawkzy, no surprise, front flips immediately after he sees even half a sign of a challenge because he's gotten so used to GiuK just getting on the ball at every possible moment. Chase down doesn't work. Mawkzy staring at an open net. So with 55 seconds left to go, Mawkzy needs 2. Otherwise, he's dug himself a bit of a hole. Wave dash kickoff. GiuK trying to chase Mawkzy down. He's able to use the last bit of his boost to tap this one away. Mawkzy's going to have a boost advantage and will go to the ceiling. Heavy touch off the ceiling is probably not best for Mawkzy. Wait a second. What happened here with GiuK? Why did he not adjust? I see he's going in and out of the net. Probably because he's low on boost. But why not jump off? Oh, he dashed himself up. He like wave dashed to send himself even quicker up. But what he needed was to just use his jump to push himself back down and adjust to the fact that Mawkzy was clearly going to go low as a counter. Right now up 1, 30 seconds. Another tough position as he's going to have to tap away control. Mawkzy going to take the midfield and the back corner. GiuK got his own back corner. And Mawkzy's trip to take the midfield maybe delayed his setup of possession long enough to allow GiuK a much better chance to challenge him early as opposed to Mawkzy, you know, getting control and being able to threaten an early pop. Now, having to backflip to steal this one away. Needs a wave dash and shot on target, but should get it. 4-4 with 5 seconds left to go. Mawkzy trying to prove he's inevitable. It took him as long as it possibly could. But now we got ourselves a tie game on the kickoff. As America, by the way, thank you for the 23 months of Tier 1. That's a long time Tier 1 and much appreciated. Mawkzy gonna let this one roll. We'll go to one more kickoff. OT in game number 1. Mirrored wave dash kickoff's a bump from Mawkzy. He loves to chase down bumps using his wave dash. GiuK with a 0 boost save. Needs to be perfect in net now to get away with this one. He's made 2 double jump saves. Can he make a third? No. Mawkzy gets the overtime win. I think 4 minutes and 55 seconds of this game. GiuK was in the lead, but Mawkzy finishes it in overtime. Takes the game 1 win. Game 2. Mawkzy and GiuK. A good start. Not the best possible start. Probably finishing off that game and keeping morale high would have been the best start against a guy like Mawkzy. But Mawkzy seems to have woken up and is going for a pogo shot. A pogo musty is not something I see very often. I think it was just an adjustment from Mawkzy, who wanted a pogo shot, recognized he didn't really hit it as pure as he could have, and then so decided to use his flip as a way to get at least a musty out of it. Either way, it does not score, and GiuK makes it nice and simple. No reason to overthink it. Just take the dribble straight down the field and cut it once the challenge comes. Another early lead for the up-and-comer. GiuK or GiuK. Apparently GiuK or something closer to that might be how it's said anyways. So it could be a GiuK or a GiuK. Mawkzy hovering around this back wall. This is exactly what GiuK did to him earlier. As soon as you have that ball on the back wall, it can be very awkward to possess it. That's why you see so many people taking it across net a lot heavier than GiuK did. He kind of let it fall back down to the ground. You even see some people like Diaz just taking those back wall possessions up into the air and trying to take them the whole length of the field instead of returning to the ground. Mawkzy on 0. Really tough position, and yeah, with enough speed, Mawkzy will not be able to make it back. And a good kickoff is eventually converted for a goal. Why don't you ask him how it's pronounced? That's a great question. That is a great question. Mawkzy lacking power on that flick compared to what we're used to. Tried to cut this the opposite direction of what was expected in order to maybe keep a possession going, but GiuK is there waiting. Now boost pickup, pre-flip demo does not connect. And it's back to another power slide cut, but before you can really get it going, Mawkzy's there to challenge and take it away. Are we looking at a double jump bump here? No, it's looking like a flick. Mawkzy will react to that and save top shelf. He's managed to save 65 boost and has a decent challenge that he'll follow up with a perfect power shots to tie the game. This power shot is not always a goal, not without a really well-timed touch. Pronounce it like gimmick? GiuK? Yeah, that's what I've been saying. But I don't know if that's correct. Mawkzy, really unorthodox use of his roll and jump, and it's not going to pay off. He almost fought against his roll in order to get to a position to single jump and then keep the dribble going. And again, at the very end, looking like trying to have a pogo save him from what might be an otherwise failed dribble. I don't think he's necessarily trying to set those up. It's just a way to handle the fact that he's kind of out ahead of the ball. Double jump bump will not connect. What a save. GiuK gets around it and drops it right in front of him to take an on-ball or an on-car carry. Attempting to pass to himself off the back wall, just a slight angle off being able to score. Mawkzy is only jumping to protect it, and he has looked a bit awkward in air today. GiuK was not challenging, and so it's going to be able to punish, and then Mawkzy from outside the play thought he saw a chance to cover the distance and challenge, but it was very telegraphed on the hat flip, and GiuK quicker than he expected. So another late game lead. A multi-goal late game lead for the up-and-comer. There's the Mawkzy flick that we know. And the nice one is going to be dropped on this one. Much deserved. Off the kickoff, couple pad pickup. GiuK's ready to make a save on something that isn't quite that good, but it was quite that good. Kickoff win for Mawkzy. GiuK going to push this to the back wall. Maybe try and play off pads. No, we'll elect to give Mawkzy the space to bring the ball back down off the back wall. The trade-off being he gets 100, but hey, I don't know if that's the game you want to play with Mawkzy. That allows Mawkzy to get to his carry, and that is where he's most effective. He is going to flick past Mr. GiuK. I also think I noticed that Mawkzy's using a Grand Champ goal explosion. I'm proud of Mawkzy for being able to get Grand Champ rewards. Mawkzy demo and power slides to cut. Had an easy goal, decides to musty it in for fun. But now has his lead. Got it sooner than overtime this time. With 1:05 left to go. What a read on the kickoff. The single jump just puts it straight on target. Did Mawkzy play this kickoff differently? Was he trying... Yeah, he was trying to chip it around him. I don't know if he felt like GiuK was delaying earlier maybe. And if GiuK was delaying heavily, that could have been a good answer to that, but that is not what happens. Now 5-5, Mawkzy pushed off of his pre-flip, which was an attempt to pick up the back corner boost. Mawkzy trying to set up an air dribble, it would seem, with a wall dash, and misses it, so now forced back into his own half, but doesn't seem to mind. He likes to deal with the pressure, but hook shot does not get ahead of the defender. Now GiuK reading the early challenge. Heavy touch, though, is off target, which will allow Mawkzy some time. Mawkzy's going to put it in his own net, but save it before it falls in. GiuK did force him to kind of take it that way. Credit to Mawkzy for being careful enough to maintain possession. Now, with 10 seconds left to go, tried to read the challenge, but got up for the flick way late, and now is going to be forced into a shadow position of his own. A 50 goes in! GiuK's been doing a great job of having patience when he gets scoring opportunities near the net. He is not rushing into flicks or playing it too early. He's making sure to fight to muscle it in whenever Mawkzy does challenge. Now, a second left to go. Needs to be chipped up by Mawkzy. He went for the delay. Not a bad decision, but it's not going to work. And we have ourselves a tied series in this early round against Mawkzy and GiuK. Game 2. Mawkzy and GiuK. However, your travels, everything went great. Everything went great. I always do a lot of yelling, though, over the weekend. It's always come back with a slightly damaged voice. Game 3, not sure what I said, but we're into Game 3. Probably said Game 2, knowing me. Game 2 is complete now. Mawkzy, a chance in the air. His aerial game so far today hasn't looked necessarily on point. That was a great wave dash finish. Certainly didn't lack the power, but shoots it over the top of the net. And will reset in his back corner. Double jump will work. Expected the early challenge, was right. And for the first time in the series, Mawkzy scores first. You think it's GiuK like the word July, so it's GiuK. Somebody tell me. We need someone confidently sure it's GiuK. All right, sounds good to me. Just call him David. Yo. Puss, puss, puss. Maybe the 2 months of Tier 1. GiuK! That's a better way to say it anyways. K-Dop says... I think I'd have to listen to him say it. I think I have to listen to him say it. I think that's what it comes down to. Just call him GiuK, GiuK, GiuK. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to call him GiuK. Because of that. Because of the GiuK. Because GiuK loves to GiuK. To mods, are we letting all this stuff slide today? GiuK's been good on the goal line so far, although Mawkzy is going to be able to deny this one and go for a counterattack. Little wall pogo from Mawkzy to celebrate. Mawkzy missing his wave dash. It's just chaos right now on his recoveries. Hasn't been able to get in clean control of his car, it feels like, for a while, but he will be there to make the save. As GiuK gonna back off. Mawkzy fakes a shot and gets himself a goal. He rushed towards this ball like he was gonna take a heavy touch on it. GiuK got up prepared for that, and instead Mawkzy pulled back, essentially faked, did get a reset in the process, and is now at 4-1. Mawkzy has had some weird challenges. I mean, I'm going to credit GiuK for a lot of them. Being able to get around Mawkzy. This one, I guess, Mawkzy just thought for sure he'd continue the ball into the back of Mawkzy. GiuK GiuK obviously not interested in doing that. Caught it and side flipped it around him. Oh my goodness, Mawkzy. Mawkzy, my guy. That was a bit open. That was a bit rare for Mawkzy, whose first shot was wide, which was fine. It created an opportunity for an easy tap-in, and then he slapped the tap-in against the backboard. And not only did he not score to go up 5-2, but he allows GiuK to score. And he's currently fighting with only a 1-goal lead. A demo on the pre-flip gets himself a second in terms of his lead on GiuK. Delay wave dash kickoff. GiuK declining the perfect aerial setup, which is interesting to note, and it's going to pay off. So I don't know if you can get away with this strategy long term against everybody in the ones game. Mawkzy not able to challenge and steal it away, so it does work out for him. But both these guys actually declining the aerial game whenever they see it possible. Mawkzy, big clear, thought about the boost steal instead. Decided to turn back and focus on the ball. Still got himself demoed. He missed flick. Did not work as a fake, which is sometimes nice. Mawkzy had that covered as well. GiuK, does he have the recovery for this? No, so a big whiff here in the back corner from GiuK, who thought Mawkzy was going to get a touch and take that off the wall. Instead, he left it and allowed it to bounce. And GiuK's going to drop the sorry for missing it. Or who knows, could be it could be a mistouch, because apparently he accidentally said sorry earlier in the series. Mawkzy stealing the ball away, taking a long shot, 7-4. Comfortable lead for Mawkzy. And I don't understand what he's saying there. Are we farming some salt, or is it just some casual talk? GiuK needed a score on that opportunity if you wanted to entertain this game. Okay, that works too. Quickly getting around it and dashing it back to the net means the window is still available. But it is a different feel when Mawkzy's in the lead versus when GiuK's in the lead late in the game. He's saying he panics. Just a little bit of coaching. Toxic coaching. Do you have your jump button on your arrows? Yeah, I really don't know how you'd accidentally say sorry, but... Does someone have his controls? Does he have something crazy like a jump button on the quick chat D-pad, basically? Game number 3. Going to the mock. 7-5. He holds on to it. One more to advance in the Arm the Rebels $1,000 weekly cup. You call it a cup? Yeah, they do. Game 4. The mock versus GiuK. We have seen ourselves a grounded ones game so far. And we've seen somebody who can go toe-to-toe with the mock, at least in a couple of these games, playing only through the ground, which is something you basically never see. That's where Mawkzy excels the most and is more than willing to play that game as much as possible. But GiuK has had patience once he's gotten control, especially around Mawkzy's net. But Mawkzy is turning up the heat. Mawkzy Zap dash recovery might have been useful for a shot, but I don't think that it really helped him too much in the race to the boost. And now he finds himself too deep. What a great shot. What an interesting flip. What the heck? I have to go back and watch that again. He put the left side of his car just barely underneath the ball and then right flipped to just chip underneath it and ended up getting the perfect power to get over the top of Mawkzy. Mawkzy, did he miss this? He did. He has GiuK in the back corner, but only momentarily. GiuK rushing out to the midfield to grab 100. Nice wave dash catch. What a clean catch from the Mawk. And a nice flick to finish. But it all comes down to this transition off the back wall. Perfect first touch. GiuK's not in the worst place ever to set up a shadow and defend against Mawkzy. But he is in way too deep when Mawkzy's able to get that clean of a catch. If Mawkzy is a bit more awkward in the process of controlling the ball, and GiuK's in the perfect position. But he got forced into challenging early, and Mawkzy knew he'd have to, so chipped it over the top of him. Now Mawkzy a demo. Not going to result in a goal. As GiuK able to get up the back wall. And now trying to force the 50 outside Mawkzy's net. He's going to have to back off. Mawkzy with space and a carry. One of the scariest things in ones. But he's not going to be able to find anything on this first attempt. Going to have to reset. Back in the midfield. Saw the early challenge coming. Nice half flip and recovery to get it around GiuK and make it a 3-1 lead. Face cam, don't you worry. We'll have the beautiful face cam on later today, as you will be able to stick it out here all day. We got 3 matches for this tournament, and then we got watch partying all the way to the very end, per usual. Mawkzy wants to be the first one to score through the air, but even when he has gone to the air, every time he's taken it down to the ground for a ground finish. This time, the shot stays up and goes just underneath the crossbar. So Mawkzy the first to dabble in the aerial game, and he will succeed with it, as he's got himself now a 3-goal lead with half the game left to go. Mawkzy to the ceiling again. He's always preferred the ceiling reset over the ball reset. Not able to meaningfully bump GiuK enough to keep that possession going, so he'll back off. And now this is where GiuK has to be able to make plays in the air. This time you could argue he was scared off of it by Mawkzy's attempt to pinch the ball off the wall, but this is an opportunity that has to be an aerial play from GiuK, if you ask me, and it looks like he is going to go for it. We don't see the level of control from those wall-to-air dribbles that we probably need to. Mawkzy going to steal it away and make it 5-1. Maybe we're getting some insight to why GiuK, for the most part, has avoided those aerial plays. But it is something that he'll certainly want to focus on if he wants to break through to the deeper echelons of this Arm the Rebels Cup or any, big 1v1 tournament. Got to have the well-rounded offense. GiuK is going to be able to counter here off of Mawkzy over aggression. Mawkzy flicked directly into GiuK. Trying to take it away into his back corner. But not into the close back corner. He knows GiuK will probably follow him there. Much better to take it to the opposite one. Are we going to see a pogo shot this time? No, he goes back to the ground. This is the way Mawkzy was playing the aerial game earlier. Pretty much always returning to the ground. Even after the ceiling reset, we saw the wave dash shot that was sent just a little bit high, but if GiuK's going to give him this much space, he's going to go for the double jump bump. Minute and 11 left to go. The favorites has gotten the lead we expected of him. And it seems likely he'll be able to hold on to it. It's going to have to be a surge of kickoffs here from GiuK. Mawkzy more than capable of slowing that down. Zero boost now, though. Little pre-flip catch. Should be good enough. Oh, not enough to get his own boost. So he's going to be stuck in the zero boost lockdown for a little bit longer, and GiuK will score. Mawkzy upset that he dropped a nice pass, but really it's the result of a ton of boost starvation. He tried to turn ball cam off. He thought he had the read on where it was headed without ball cam on, but he overshot it. But with 40 seconds left to go, GiuK needs every single possession. Mawkzy has control and wastes a little bit of time just floating here in the air. Pogo shot again, this time low. And does get blocked fairly early. But Mawkzy doing well not to put himself completely out of position. What a shot from Mawkzy. Ends up getting some resets as he 50s this on the back wall. Yeah, GiuK's going to drop a calculator. Like, no way he did this on purpose. Little wave dash backflip. I mean, it's a great recovery. The recovery was for sure on purpose. Using the dash to get back to the right position to backflip, but a bit of chaos ensued to even make that happen. 7-3, Mawkzy. Again, going to drop a game in the first round. Last week, it was to Dr. Known. This time, it's to GiuK. But either way, he advances. I think he hasn't made it to a final yet. Or no, yeah, I think it was Nash Rally. Or was it Nash Mawkzy in one of the finals? I think it was, actually. Hasn't been able to win one yet. But certainly a player we could see walking away with at least a couple of these Arm the Rebels that are going to happen over here in EU all during the offseason. GiuK, I think we'll see him back. I think I've seen him in the qualifier a few times. I don't know if he's made it before, but is always up in those games in the final qualification matches. Would not be surprised to see a few more bounce his way as these guys just keep the ball up endlessly, taking turns, one tap at a time. A nice juggle. That's too soft of a touch. Oh, now 2 consecutive touches from GiuK. I feel like that goes against the hidden rules we had there for a second. Mawkzy still not shooting on target, making sure to keep the pop up. The chemistry right now proven to be on point between these two. Bit of a selfish ball carry though from GiuK, holding on to it for a while. Mawkzy going for pretty risky double touches, but every time always making sure to get the pre-flip underneath the ball. Wait a second, GiuK lost it. It will hit ground. Mawkzy will get the dub and advance in the bracket.